What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. It pains me to agree with the quartering and take the same stance as he does, but here's the thing. When it comes to reality and truth, you have to kind of put your arguments, disagreements, and personal vendettas against each other aside if you care about what matters and what's real, what's true, which I feel like has been lost over the past decade or so in life in general. And what I'm talking about specifically here is a memo that got leaked from Ubisoft. And this is not just any memo. This is a memo that exposes Ubisoft for being so fixated on getting ESG funding from companies like Vanguard and BlackRock that they would shoot themselves in their own foot, hide and pretend they don't see any of the horrible things that their employees might be writing for the sake of keeping that sweet, sweet investment money coming in. Hit the subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down this leaked memo from Ubisoft, or Ubisoft. Whatever. This memo kind of gives us insight as to what they're thinking, and it got leaked from, of all places, the quartering, which I'd assume somebody who works at Ubisoft sent it to him to let him know what's happening. I couldn't find this anywhere else on the internet, so we're just gonna take his word for it and go through this as an official leaked document from internal Ubisoft. The memo starts out saying, first, we want to make it very clear that we do not accept hate, harassment, and other forms of abuse in any way, and we are deeply saddened to see the negativity and hatred currently spreading on our co-workers' personal profiles and on our and our partners' social media platforms. Now, when I read that, a younger version of me, much long ago, much more innocent, would be like, man, that's horrible. Hate is spreading everywhere, and this company is really doing the right thing to stand up against it because they don't want any hate on their websites, on their social media, on their personal pages, because hate is bad. And then you take a step back and you're like, well, what is the hate? And whose perspective is this hate coming from? And then you get to the onion of peeling back. What is hate? What is something that you don't agree with? And this is where the problem lies. Something I spoke of a while ago on Twitter. It seems like there is a certain segment of demographic out there that doesn't see an absolute truth. And the reason why they don't see an absolute truth is because they don't want to be wrong. They want to be able to morph whatever reality is to their own liking and say that everyone else is wrong because their truth is what's real.
That perhaps for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done.
And right there, I think, is a bigger issue here. And I'll dive into that in a little bit, but let's keep going. We are proud to represent the diversity and inclusion that exists in society as part of our everyday work. Representation is part of our DNA and will remain that way regardless of external pressures or influences. So right here, they're taking a stand against bigots, I guess, or people that just don't want diversity. That's the way it's worded, but the reality is something much more sinister. No one is against just generic diversity to make sure that you're hiring the right people and you're not being racist or sexist or misogynistic or any of these horrible things if you're hiring the right person for the job. But that kind of got morphed into, instead of hiring the most qualified best person, we need to check some boxes to make sure we fill the gaps and get the right people for these positions in order to make sure our stock gets invested in from ESG funding from two of the world's largest funds, the index funds of BlackRock and Vanguard. And you need to cater to them to make sure that they keep investing in your company, getting that ESG score up, making sure the funds keep coming through. If you are exposed to or witness any negative behaviors towards colleagues online, do not hesitate to reach out to your manager, Arcade HR, or the communications team. We are here to help. Should a situation escalate to a point where you feel unsafe, please contact the Ubisoft Security and Risk Management SRM team at blank.ubisoft.com. SRM has a team of dedicated staff to manage security concerns. They will assess the severity of the situation and provide personalized guidance. As always, report immediate and severe personal safety concerns to your local emergency number. So right here, Ubisoft is taking the perspective of you are right and everyone else is wrong. And if someone takes you to task on that, instead of having a conversation and you feel threatened or your safety is in question, you need to contact security because we will protect you. Now, here's the thing. This is the problem. There are always, in every situation, no matter what, in every walk of life, there are always a fringe minority of crazy people that will make these crazy threats, that will do these horrible things. Like, that's reality, and it really sucks. But the problem is Ubisoft fixates on a very, very, very thin 0.00001% of the population and puts the magnifying glass on them and says, yeah, if this happens to you, we're going to protect you. When really, that's not the issue here. This is why I wanted to make the video. Given the current polarization of this topic online, we believe that having a respectful and constructive dialogue is difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. In this context, we ask you not to engage in or interact with these conversations, as this could worsen the situation for yourself, our teams, and our industry peers. You can also set your accounts to private and or turn off private messages from people who are not in your list of trusted friends. Do this across all your social accounts, even if you are only receiving unwelcome messages on certain platforms. Ubisoft is encouraging proactively their own employees to go into private mode under the guise of protecting themselves. But in reality, what I've learned doing just very topical, surface level investigation on many of the people, especially community managers that work for these game companies, is they are some of the most racist, sexist, saying some of the most horrific things that I've seen against just generic gaming culture in general. The horrible things that are said by employees of these companies, and they go into private mode to hide what they say. Ubisoft knows that these people that work for them say horrible things, and they don't want that getting out because it makes Ubisoft look horrible. They don't want people to see just how bad the people are that work for them. Just because they're hiring them for diversity, equity, and inclusion, they want to make sure that ESG funding keeps coming through without the negative press and backlash that comes with some of the horrible mentalities of some of these people that work at some of these companies. Ubisoft firmly stands for diversity and inclusion in our workplace and our games, and we believe there is no room for hate in gaming. And it goes on, we will continue, and then it cuts off there. But if Ubisoft truly does mean what they say, and as far as caring for diversity, good for you, you care about diversity. You feel like there's no room for hate in gaming, why aren't you taking some of your employees to task instead of telling them to run and hide and private all their social media accounts? How about do some investigations on the people working for you to see what they've said? I mean, we got Kara that got fired from Limited Run Games for something that was said 10 years ago that was so innocuous that I couldn't believe she got let go for that. We have people right now, daily, writing things, working at these companies that are facing zero backlash, zero job security threats, zero anything happening to them, and instead they're being protected by the very companies they work for that should be looking into firing them. It's so ass backwards that I don't even know what to say. That's the world we live in right now, where it feels like criminals can commit crimes and then be let go because, yeah, there's not really a crime in this world right now. There's no accountability. There's no anyone that really cares anymore. It's all the facts that you make up yourself. That's the reality of the world you live in. That's what diversity, equity, inclusion has turned into. And I can't believe Ubisoft would have the gall, the audacity to write this email internally to their own employees, encouraging them to go into private mode, to hide their horrible secrets, to hide their tweets that they've put out there, because they don't want to be exposed for the horrible human beings they really are. And that's the truth. The truth that a lot of these people can't seem to handle. Anyways, that's my thoughts covering this leaked memo from Ubisoft. It is insane to me that this stuff keeps happening, but I'm going to keep calling it out because honestly, it doesn't sit well for me, and I just feel like this internal draw to have to keep talking about it, to bring it to light, because light cleanses all. And these people that are trying to hide behind secrets and private Discord messages and private Twitter accounts and all this horrible things that they've said has to be brought to light to show the world that these people aren't as nice as they'd like to make you think they are. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Check out smashjt.com for the full article, links, resources. Again, I can't believe I'm saying this, but thank you to the Quartering for revealing this to everyone. And thank you guys for watching, and you stay smashing.
Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT.